Welcome back to JKMotoPodcast, a motorcycle podcast for the everyday rider, covering current bike and racing news, and specializing in track days, club racing, MotoGP, and
great entertainment.
We truly do it all. And this week we're brought to you once again by JKMoto Entertainment, your one-stop shop for all your track day, club racing questions and answers. Go ahead and give us a subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at JKMoto Entertainment. Where'd it go?
It's right there by the barbell.
Oh, it's hidden from my angle. If you're curious, out here in wonderful Stable B, there's a green lizard running around. So if we're constantly checking elsewhere, that's why. But we're not here to talk about green lizards tonight. We are not here to talk about broken Yamahas again.
You're fixing a lot of Yamahas lately.
Broken is not the right word. It ain't broken. Well, okay, it is.
Well, it's because it's disassembled.
It's also broken. That's why I'm fixing it. I realized that after yeah. Anyway, but we are here to talk about MotoGP, and specifically MotoGP in Indonesia, the bane of a certain world champions' existence. And unfortunately, that continued this weekend. I think I'm going to leave it at that and ask you to, real quick, if you're watching on YouTube, just know this will be a little bit longer than maybe 5 minutes. So if you don't want to sit through that, I completely understand. Go down to our description, click the RSS feed link, and go find us on your favorite podcast platform. If you're listening, once you're done or right now or whenever you have a minute, please head over to the YouTube channel, click subscribe, throw a like on the podcast, and, leave us some comments. And whatever podcast platform you might be listening on, give us a follow or a subscribe or whatever the magical button is on that. And tell your friends. Word of mouth is actually the best spreader of great news. Did you know that?
I believe it.
It's factual.
I believe it.
Factual. You can pay millions of dollars for ads, but nothing beats your buddy being like, "Hey man, McDonald's is really good."
Take my money. Advertising successful.
Anyway, with all that being said, we're gonna go ahead and roll an intro, and then we will get into MotoGP round 18.
I'm good with this every single week.
Yes, you have been too.
If you don't count all the ones where I got it wrong, I'm always good.
Yeah, 100%.
60% of the time, it works every time.
100% accuracy, 10% of the time. Yeah, we'll leave you that. We'll see you guys in a second for Mandalika. My first track day, I got the pictures back, and I was like, I'm never doing that again. On the ground at 100 miles an hour. And we are back. We're still in Stable B, in case you were wondering.
You should, eventually if you move, you should just call it Stable B and just gaslight the audience about how this is Stable B, and then never acknowledge it.
Just never talk about the fact that Stable B is not actually Stable B anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the goal is eventually, I'm not going to live here. If I live here, who knows?
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you move, just have it be Stable not B, but then just call it Stable B.
I'll continue to call it Stable B. Is not a physical location as much as it is an atmosphere.
Got it. It's the Stable B in our hearts.
yeah. Stable B lives in the cloud. I don't like that at all.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. No, Stable B will stick around. I'm not gonna rename it. It's gotta stick around. But anyway, I want to go ahead and knock out fantasy because I'm kind of sad because I didn't win.
You're sad because you didn't win. You've been doing better than me all season. I don't want to hear any of that.
Well, that's just because you're not any good at fantasy.
All right. You don't need to be saying objective truths. Next year will be my year.
You're not in dead last, although you did get dead last in points this year.
Yeah,
this week.
I'm only not dead last because somebody joined 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, they must have actually just joined 3 weeks ago.
Whoever you are, I appreciate it. I say that even though I can just read their name right here.
Yeah, wow, what a week for fantasy. There was one man that did well, and not surprising because
I don't think we're going to have an argument about who our writer of the week is. I think it's
pretty hard. So the man that did well, JKMoto, you're our winner for the week, and please reach out on Facebook or Instagram, send me a DM. we'll get you your weekly point-winning prize sent over. So please reach out. But in the meantime, let's talk about this team, because I just pulled up your team. You're the only one that scored, let's see, you scored 168. The next closest behind him was Lovers Riders at 133.
Are we breaking down the tech for the team? Let's see it. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Top two Gold Riders, Marco and Pedro.
Yeah.
We both know Marco had a hell of a Saturday and Pedro had a hell of a Sunday.
Yeah. And Bezzecchi's been doing good the second half of the season in general.
Yeah. And then, Silver Riders, Marc, we'll get to that at some point. But the other boy, old Fairman.
Aldeguer.
Aldeguer.
And for constructors, Ducati and Break 8. And Break 8 has the other Marquez and Furman, who's been doing decent for a rookie.
Yeah. Break 8,
better than that.
They had a great weekend in general.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that's a freaking top-notch team. And this boy JKMoto still has one boost left. And if you look at his points compared to Shifty after this weekend, man, that's actually kind of close. He's currently only 35 points behind Shifty. So
you're saying
JKMoto, you're moving up. Hanging out with a boost.
So we're saying that he's got that one boost in the reserve, so you can just use that possibly.
Yeah, as long as he's paying attention and doesn't keep Marc Marquez for the next 2 weeks.
Because just him and JKMoto, everybody's used all their boosts effectively.
I used mine. It was kind of sad. All right, so I'm going to start with the bad news, the big news. For me, really bad news. I'm a Marc fan. We're going to start with that. On Sunday, Marc wrecked out. Latest I heard was right shoulder injury. He's got a torn ligament, and he's got a fractured bone up there. I think it's the bone that comes straight across up here.
Yeah, the way it was looking, like they said, after he crashed, he was down for a while, like he was hurting. Then when he got up, it looked like he was still hurting, but he got up, so like maybe it's not that bad. But then they started saying went to the medical center, possible torn something, or right collarbone broken. A lot of speculation.
Yeah, so
but he's going back home to
official statement. Training. He has gone back home to Madrid. He has a torn ligament and a broken or a fractured bone somewhere in the right shoulder.
Oh, so post-race we got more information?
Yep. Okay. Good news. They are not related to his prior injuries, so they don't feel like they need to go in and do surgery and adjust things like crazy again.
That's a wild statement to say. Good news, it's not related to his prior injuries. They're just brand new, what some would consider serious injuries. Just brand new ones.
Well, that's a fracture and a torn ligament. That's not too bad.
Once again, a wild statement to say out loud.
This is important because Marc Marquez just won the World Championship. And I personally believe that his goal is to reach the top, the best of the best. I also personally believe and hope that he can accomplish that. To do that, he's going to need to be able to ride.
Yes.
So he is taking the next 2 MotoGP weekends off. We will not see him in Australia, and we will not see him in Malaysia.
No one can blame him. He's the champion. He could take the rest of the season off if he really wanted to.
And be fine. Yep. So I don't blame him for that. That also is important because it gives him time to let those things heal naturally. They're trying to not do any surgery and get him back out there super fast. They're trying to just let it heal. I think it'll be interesting to see how fast he comes back after that. But I do absolutely expect to see him back on the Ducati in Valencia post-season testing the day after the last race of the season, because I guarantee he's going to want to get
some data immediately.
Yeah, right off the bat. And that is
for the new GP-116.
Valencia is super important for riders to be there on the bikes, because that's when the engineers get all the data to take and go build the bike for the next year. Very important, especially with the GP25 being so controversial. But there's your update on Marc Marquez. Horrible Sunday for him. Unfortunately, since 2022, it's been a horrible Sunday in Mandalika for him. That's just how it kind of goes. That's where we're at. On to bigger and better things.
Wish him a speedy recovery.
Yeah, well, and it wasn't even, I guess, I'll just get Marc out of the way completely, because it wasn't even a bad just Sunday. The man was in Q1 because of wrecking out so many times in practice.
The worst part about it on Sunday, like, it wasn't even his fault. Like, Bezzecchi was coming a little too hot, couldn't get the bike turned, and then clipped him on the way out, took the bike out, and then I think, it went over his foot while he was like, wow, Marc.
The toughest
part
about
one of these bad boys happened,
and
then Marc
came out and he's like, hey, don't blame Bezzecchi, right? These things happen. It's racing. I don't blame him. Everything happens. It could happen to anyone. Whatever. I'm going to go get healed up. And that's a great statement, but the replay did
Yeah, the replay, Bezz was coming a little too hot, couldn't get the bike stopped or turned in time.
Yeah, but he also
Clipped
didn't.
Marquez's rear.
He stood it up, and I understand that's a hot corner, and he didn't I guarantee his initial reaction was stand up, just get the bike up and go, because he was already starting to lean over, and then he stood the bike back up, and then he didn't have time to swerve out of the way, but he did just straight up plow into the back of that guy. But once again, he didn't have a great Friday. His Saturday was okay. Minus, he came through Q1 to Q2.
Did he even get a point on Saturday?
Yeah, he finished in 7th. Okay. So he was in the points, but he came through Q1 to Q2.
He got out of the points, but it was racing to get back in the points. Wasn't sure if he ended up getting in points, but he was racing back there in the pack.
Yeah.
Saturday, I won't lie to you. I was focusing on our boy Bezzecchi and Aldeguer, and it was a nail biter. I thought I wanted Aldeguer to have it so bad. I love Bezzecchi. I really love Bezzecchi, but I wanted Aldeguer to have it for a win so bad. But Bezzecchi was coming up and up.
Bro,
and up, and then I was like, ooh.
So I totally agree with you. I wanted Aldeguer to have it, sure, but the way that Bezz fought.
Yeah, because he was on pole and then got as far back as 8th place, and he clawed his way for every position to get that win. He
not just clawed his way, but when we entered the final lap, he was still 0.6 or 7 seconds down.
He was absolutely dropping heaters to get back up there.
Straight cooking.
That was a weekend for the fans.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It was a bad weekend to be a Marc Marquez fan. It was a great weekend to be a MotoGP fan. I will say that.
It was amazing racing.
Yeah.
The sprint was absolutely amazing, and even Marc played into that a little bit because he ended up qualifying 9th, moves up to 6th or 7th, hits Alex Rins, which Alex Rins personally said that when he went back and looked at the footage, he realized it wasn't really Marc's fault. There's a lot of hey, why did Marc get hit for this when other people do it all the time? That being said, there are times where Marc doesn't get hit for things that other people do, so whatever. But truth be told, you go back and look at the footage and you can easily argue that Alex came back over on top of him rather than Marc pushed him and forced him out. Yeah, who knows? Whatever. But he got a long lap penalty for that, served that long lap penalty immediately, bumped back to 13th, ended up finishing 7th. So, that's still impressive from him. And
I'd be curious to see how that race would look different if Marc never had that long lap penalty and he was just allowed to just continue the race.
Yeah. Well, same with Sunday. I would be curious to see what would have happened if he hadn't gotten hit.
But we saw some. Ooh, it looks like the official position for Marc is 6. So that other guy might have actually gotten that tire pressure. I forget who it was. Was that Miguel Oliveira? Was it him with the tire pressure?
I don't remember who it was. He is in 6th though.
Or was it Rins? I don't remember. So Marc got 6. Also, Juan Mir didn't crash out on Saturday. Got top 5, got number 5. And Miguel Oliveira, not Miguel Oliveira, Raul Fernandez got podium. Miguel Oliveira was cooking on Sunday.
Raul Fernandez also qualified very well. The big talk of the week is Aldeguer. And Pedro.
Yeah.
Poor Pedro.
Pedro was fighting all weekend, but...
He was, and he wrecked out in the sprint, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, 7 laps in. Also, Chantra retired early. I don't know what happened with his bike.
Yeah, I don't know.
He just was walking off early. I just saw Quartararo go out, Zarco go out. What happened to Bastianini? Did he crash and then retire after that, or did he just retire? I don't remember.
I don't remember on Saturday. I want to say he just retired, but he might have wrecked.
I know Bagnaia might as well have retired. He finished so far behind, the commentators would not let that live. Would not let him live it down.
That was rough. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll talk about Bagnaia in a minute.
It's like the opposite of last weekend.
Pedro. Poor Pedro Acosta. What is going on with that man?
I don't know. He has weekends where he's strings it together and gets on the podium or near the podium. But there are other weekends where he gets really high up there and just doesn't finish it out, if that makes any sense. We were just talking about that last week, actually.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like he is almost the Joan Mir with a decent bike. And
he does not crush out nearly as often.
No, right? That's why I say decent bike. But actually, this weekend, in the sprint specifically, when Pedro wrecked out, because he wrecked out from a very good position, and it was blowing my mind because
was he P2?
Yeah, he was in 2nd. And the phrase kept coming to my head, you can teach a rider to not crash way easier than you could teach a rider to be fast. So when you're looking at professional motorcycle racers or future professional motorcycle racers, a kid that lays the bike down all over the place but is wicked fast is way better than a kid that always keeps the bike upright but doesn't ride that fast. Take everything else out of it, you know, form, family, the amount of money in their bank account, whatever else. If you have someone that just wants to win and has that fight in them, but they crash all the time, teams will say, we can fix that. We got to have that edge. They recognize that racer mentality. And I know, like, personally, that's something I'm like, I don't have that much. Not very good at it.
You got that dog in you.
Maybe. Yeah. Not as much as anyone else. That's for dang sure.
Not as that guy.
Yeah. But I was sitting there thinking about Pedro this weekend, and I was like, well, you know, maybe he's just that racer that, like, we can teach him not to crash, and he's fast.
But he is wicked fast.
It's MotoGP. We're past that point.
Yeah, but when you're not riding Ducati, maybe it's taking more risk to be more competitive.
Maybe, and
I don't know. I'm not in his head. I don't want to, like, play armchair psychologist from thousands of miles away.
that's kind of the whole point of the podcast.
Oh, my goodness. That's fair.
And, you know, maybe, maybe the Ducati is just that good. We were kind of talking about it before this, but, you know, the GP24, I think, is the ultimate. I think it is quite possible. We'll see what happens next year, but I think it is quite possible that the Ducati Desmos Adichie GP24 goes down as the best MotoGP bike ever built.
My question about that is, like, if that was the best they had and they had such a dominant performance, how could the development of the 25 have strayed so far away from that? If, like, or maybe they did a few changes and those few changes were enough to just not make it as good. Because we were saying before that, like, Pecco had way faster times last year in the 24, and then they rode effectively the 24 last weekend. He did really good, and all the other times in the 25, he's like struggling.
Yeah, and I don't.
Obviously, not counting for Marc because Marc can ride a tractor fast. That's what they say.
Supposedly, I don't know.
Rumor
I think that's what makes it so hard is that Marc has mastered that bike, and everyone's been so focused on Marc, and Marc is the champion, and. Because at the beginning of the season, Pecco wasn't doing bad.
He wasn't. He was fighting for podiums.
Yeah, Pecco and Marc were up there fighting together.
Now he's fighting to finish in the top. Then he was fighting to finish in the top 5 and then the top 10, which is not what I expected, to be honest.
Yeah, but you look at, you know, we'll take 2 weekends ago before Pecco had his magical good weekend in Italy where Pecco didn't do that good at all. Marc did great. So that's post-summer break. Summer break usually comes with some updates. Somehow that just made it worse for Pecco. But it still begs
maybe it's just that 24 was just a bike that was like suited his riding style, and the 25 just isn't. But because Marc's riding style might be a little different, he's not affected in the same way, or maybe he's just easier to adapt to it.
I would say adapting. Everything I've been reading a crazy amount of articles, and everyone on the Ducati team. There's this big thing came out about Marc is the worst person to have on your team because he doesn't care about bike development at all, and he rides so well that he'll just mask it. So your bike won't ever actually develop, and that's why he drove Honda to
the top
destruction.
Well, the top of then.
Yeah, but as soon as he left, they just went downhill because everyone's like,
Ducati after Stoner left.
He was masking. Yeah, that's what they're saying, right? And someone at Ducati came out and said, no, it's actually quite the opposite. Marc can adapt his riding so well that it actually gives us way better data in every field. Because we can have him try any part, and he'll go out and ride it exactly how it's supposed to be. But then he'll still come back and give us the feedback about it. So, like, yeah, you don't get the, no, this thing sucks, but you get the, okay, this rider, we know he can do this lap time. We put this part on, and he was 0.2 seconds slower. We took the part off, he was the same speed, put a different part on, he was a 10th faster. Okay, cool. Obviously, we want this other part.
He's out here min-maxing the bike stats.
Yeah, right, and he's so quick to be able to adapt to all these new things and changes in the bike and everything else.
That's pretty good because your testing time is limited. You don't just get to ride the bike as much as you want, unfortunately.
Right.
Which I learned recently.
And so that was like their kind of the whole point there. The hard part is I would also argue that there is 100%, and this is just, you know, speculation and opinion, armchair therapist over here, but there is no way that there's not some mental something going on in Pecco's head this year.
He's not the big dog on the block anymore.
Yeah, and there's no way that's not affecting him.
He's fighting to maintain third in this championship. Because Bezzecchi's like, what, 20 points away? And he got, like, what, 5 more rounds?
If Bezzecchi had finished the race,
yeah,
based off what he did Saturday, I looked at the points after Saturday. I was like, he's about to take it.
They're like 20 points right now.
Yeah.
If he had finished the race, not even good, if he just finished the race because Pecco did so bad, if he had finished the race like P5,
he would take it next weekend.
Yeah.
Right now, I was thinking if he did first or second again, he would have taken it.
And if he just showed an inkling of what he showed Saturday,
yeah, would have been his. Would have been over.
Yeah.
Over. And
right now, third place is his to lose.
Oh, 100%. But that's what's rough about it is what did happen to Pecco? What did happen to the GP25? What is Ducati going to do to remedy it in 2026? The only caveat would be that in 2026, all the non-factory guys are going to go to a GP25. And if no one likes that bike, then they'll be okay.
They're all bad together.
I don't think Ducati just wants Pecco doing bad. I think they want a red 1-2 every single weekend.
Yeah, that's why they signed Marc. They wanted a red 1-2, and now they're getting a red 1.
And a 17.
Maybe. if he can keep the bike up and finish the race.
If he finishes. So I don't know.
If he doesn't do his best red drawn mirror impression.
Yeah, because I don't know. But, you look at the 24, and the people that are on the 24 are performing so well. Pecco and Jorge performed so amazing on the 24 last year. What would it look like if they put a 24 in the hands of Marc? If that bike really is so much better. But at the same time, Marc came out and said, no, I like the 25. He's the one running with the new parts. He's figuring it out. He's still riding the bike well. And some people would argue, this is also really weird and crazy speculation because Marc hasn't been on a Ducati more than 2 years now.
Yeah, he was on the 23 back when he was with Grassini with his brother, and now he's on the 25 with the factory team.
Yeah.
Never touched the 24, really.
And realistically, think about how many races we saw Marc sit in second behind someone, and then whenever he wanted and was ready, he's gone. It's done. It's over. The only time that didn't happen was
when he would crash out.
Last weekend in Japan when he was winning the World Championship and he was behind Pecco. He was low-key actually about to hunt that guy down. I thought maybe he would do it, but in the last few laps he kind of backed off. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. He's got the championship. He definitely has the championship. If he crashes, he has to wait another week.
Yeah. So, which, if he had, that would have been bad. Anyway.
Especially since you have all the stuff ready in the background, just waiting.
Yeah, there's a ton of speculation. You'll also see, I saw an X-ray tonight of Marc's arm, supposedly that I don't think was accurate at all because the whole bone up here was broken in half, and it was this could kill his entire career. And I'm like, no, the official statement from him was, I'll be back after 2 rounds. Yeah. I'll be missing the next 2 rounds, but they're pretty positive he'll have a good healing process and everything will be good to go. The question, I think, is in the next 2 rounds, what do we see from Pecco?
Now that he's the only Ducati on the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Will they have a test rider sub in for Marc, or they just only send Pecco out?
They probably will, I would assume, but I don't know.
They got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
They're just having Pecco out. Marc's already the championship. And if I'm not mistaken, Ducati Lenovo team has already won the championship per this last weekend.
Yeah, they won constructors, they won teams.
Yeah, so it's
rider.
it doesn't matter what they do. They can just send Pecco out there and let them cook.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have a spot available, you want data, you're going to take it. Get the data.
Well, they're not getting it from Marc, so they might as well. We'll see.
Yeah, anytime you can get data, time on the bike is so precious in MotoGP, I'd almost guarantee they have their test rider out there.
I just want to stress, Saturday, Juan Mir did not crash on Saturday.
True.
Sort of, kind of. He finished in 5th.
Juan Mir had a great day on Saturday. And I was proud of him.
On Saturday.
I was proud of him. Yeah. I was about to make him my rider of the weekend on Saturday.
Can't stress that on Saturday enough.
It was so close on Sunday, though, too.
Yeah.
But he wasn't doing that great.
I think my favorite part about Sunday was watching, Alex Rin? Absolutely barbecue that soft tire. But man, in the process, was it?
Oh, man.
It was like, the story of Icarus, how he flies too close to the sun and then the wings melt, then he falls to his death. Alex Rins was up there fighting. He up to P2 at one point?
Yeah.
And then it's just
Well, and every time he took a Yamaha.
Yeah.
Down the front straight and held back Pedro Acosta on a KTM, which you heard it from the announcers.
They're like, oh,
the fastest MotoGP bike.
When they lined it up for that dragger, they said there's no he's going to hold him off. And then he held him off. I think it was later on the brakes and tipped it in, and then he just had it in the corner. And then we're all like...
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if it was the first lap that they did it, but either the first or the second. He comes in late on the brakes, not just late on the brakes. The back tire was 8 inches off the ground. There's no question about it, but Alex Rins, for whatever reason, the only thing that was really getting to me was that they were like, he's proven why he's such an amazing rider, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, but where is it every other weekend?
That was my other question.
Because like, normally, glory.
Because like normally it's Quartararo being the lead Yamaha of all Yamahas.
Yeah.
Jack Miller's doing something.
Usually.
Or he's crashing.
Yeah.
Rins is installed somewhere in the grid.
Sometimes.
But this is the first time we actually saw him like absolutely sending on that Yamaha.
He will do this. Since I've been watching MotoGP, it feels like he will have 1 or 2 weekends a year where he's amazing, and he's always on some Japanese bike.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's his track.
Maybe.
Maybe like that's his favorite track.
It's not there though, because he won at Coda a few years ago. On the Suzuki, he had a random win. Like, I don't know. The dude, he won at Coda on a Honda in the year that
Honda
no one else
bad.
could ride a Honda. Randomly, out of nowhere. Then we never saw him again that year.
He just locked in that weekend. He gets a couple.
That's got to be what it is.
He gets a weekend every couple years. He just locks in.
I guess.
But watching that racing was pretty good.
Oh, it was amazing. No, Saturday was great. The last five laps of Saturday was absolutely berserk because Bezzecchi just put on a pace that I've never seen before and hunted Aldeguer down and did not stop.
He got
the pass.
Where he stood him up.
Yeah.
I thought they were both going out, and
yeah.
The way they came, he made it stick. Nobody went down, but man,
it was a clean pass.
It was a clean pass. I've seen clean passes like that get very not clean very quickly.
When he came in for it, because like I said, we started that last lap, and he's 5.5, 0.6 seconds down, and I was like, "There's no way, dude." And I looked at the lap times. I'm like, I guess maybe if he's got something in the tank, maybe
he had something. In the tank.
Dude just started cooking and laying it out, and then we get to the passing point. I'm like, "There's no way. He's too far." Oh.
Yeah, he made the opportunity.
It was late. It was deep, and it was a big old block pass. Big old block pass.
This inside line is mine.
Yeah.
You're gonna have that asphalt over there.
Well, the inside and the outside line are his because he didn't stick to the inside. He couldn't. He would have freaking laid it down. I don't know, but hell of a race from Bezz. I'm all about it.
I was hopeful I was going to see that again on Sunday, and then what was it, the first lap?
It was
very
literally
early on.
turn 7.
Yeah, it was very early on. We took Marc out, and I was like, well, I wanted to see Marc climb back up in the rankings. That's not going to happen. And I want to see Bezzecchi do what he did yesterday. Well, that's not going to happen. All right, what do I have? And the rest of the grid did not disappoint. We saw Alex Rins put on a clinic. Saw Pedro Acosta being absolutely hungry. We saw Aldeguer get his first straight up win?
First MotoGP race win.
20 years old.
Won the sprint.
Yep. And then Alex Marquez came from back in the grid to get that second spot on the podium. So Grassini had the 1-3.
Yep.
Which, not Grassini, was it Break 8? No, it is Grassini.
It's Grassini. Break 8 Grassini.
Yeah. They had a 1-3, which I do not think they were expecting going into this weekend at all.
No. They had a great weekend. Well, and on top of that,
and then Binder.
Well, forget just Binder, that whole mess. Aldeguer gets out on Sunday and goes right. Yep. Amazing launch, everything else is great, cool. Gets ahead of everyone, he's gone, and there is nothing stopping that man.
Yeah, once he had that lead, he had it. Everybody was fighting for second.
Yeah, he was gone. Right. Bezz was taken out, like you said, took out Marc. Bezz is gone. Everyone else was fighting for second, but we saw Luca Marini fighting for second, and then make one mistake, get passed by, 8 people?
It wasn't 8 people, but him
and
another guy got in, and then they just fell more and more behind. It was wild.
Nuts.
Whatever the mistake was, it was costly.
Yeah, which is crazy because the commentators did it to him. They jinxed him on that.
Yeah, they love doing that.
They called it right beforehand. They're like, yeah, but he's got to be real careful because if he gets passed right now.
Because he had a train behind him, and they were waiting for their opportunity, and they took it.
Yeah, but it was all, if I remember right, at that point, it was Pedro holding everyone up. Marini was trying to get around Pedro. But every time we go around him, Pedro would fight right back. And then Marini falls back, and we see the next guy in line come up. And then eventually we saw Alex Rins comes up. Alex Rins fought it off for a while until they cooked the crap out of his rear.
Yeah.
And then, lucky for Pedro, was able to actually hold it out.
Also, what was it? Miguel Oliveira just had random hottest laps in the beginning of the race.
Yeah.
From the back, from the middle of the grid, just random hottest lap. I was like, what is he doing back there?
Yeah. Until
put the camera on that man.
The only guy that beat him in the end was Aldeguer, randomly.
Just one of those laps is absolutely.
Well, when he was pulling his gap, he was running a 1:30.4. I think was the fastest lap he did. Let me check on that and see if they have. I would have to go pull up his laps, but I do want to look at Q2 times. Yeah, so I mean, Bezz did a 128.8
for qualifying.
Yeah,
not race pace.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
But yeah, man, he ran a 130.4.
Man, I can't stop thinking of what could have been if Bezz stayed in that race.
Bezz was on fire at that track.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, he made some mistakes. On Saturday, he was able to recover from the mistake, which was super impressive and showed us what he could do there. On Sunday,
something similar happened on Sunday where he just fell behind as well. I don't know if with the starting procedure or what, but in both races, he just when those lights go out and it's time to start racing, for some reason this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, he just fell behind.
Yeah, and then
which was rather unfortunate.
Tried bringing it back, but Sunday just didn't quite work for him.
Yeah,
I don't know. That track is nuts. It's crazy. It looks fast with still some technical, but it looks.
I love watching the braking zones because you'll see 300 kilometers, which is I think close to 180 miles an hour, and they'll just fistful of brakes. That rear tire comes up. They're absolutely smoking those brakes, bring it to a stop before they tip it in. It's oof.
Yeah.
Those G's must be wild, especially when you see them one leg out, up on the gas tank, back tires doing this, front tires.
Yeah, Alex Rins every single freaking time into turn one, holding off the fastest bike on the grid.
There's a couple weeks ago where Bastianini did a pass on Pedro Acosta, and Acosta was like this, but Bastianini was like this, and it was
yeah, I remember that. And they were right next to each other. That was some good racing. I don't know. I will
bring back that Bastianini.
I would say that Sunday. So Saturday was entertaining, right? Because the Bezz Aldeguer thing, especially for the last few laps. But Sunday, dude, I was in it.
That's a race I would introduce somebody to MotoGP before.
That's what I was about to say, right? Of all the races I've seen in a while, and I feel like we say that relatively often.
That's because we're eating good this year.
This season, I feel like we haven't said it as much. But I think that's the first one in a long time that I was just like, this is actually good.
And it was the part that had me was it was the racing that you were seeing from names you don't normally see the racing at.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they're further back in the grid you were seeing this racing. It's like Marc Marquez up here. He's got a big lead. Everybody else down here is racing for the battle for P5, and it's a tight race. No, this is they're coming up into P2. They're coming up into P3. They're falling back into P6 and 7. Oh, they're coming up into P4. They're coming up into P2 again. Anyone
between 2nd and 10th had a shot at a podium this weekend on Sunday. And they all took their shot for a minute there.
Man, what could have been if you could have had a Honda at P2. You could have had a Yamaha finish in P2. You could have had a Ducati. Yeah, we kind of saw that one coming, right? But the fact that Yamaha and Honda both were even in that conversation for a P2 is crazy.
Yeah.
KTM, sure, their Pedro's riding. Bender got up into 4th.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything from Bender at all this season.
Everybody came out and showed what their worth was.
Yeah, including Jack Miller, who
we don't talk about that. Yeah, we don't really talk about that.
Yeah.
Rins ended up all the way in a 10th place, and he was up there in 2 before he rose to that tire.
I think that, I don't know, the saddest part to me was probably still Pecco. I was afraid he was going to get lapped.
I don't think he was doing that bad. I do know he was doing...
So I said a 130.4. I'm pretty sure he was doing 134s or 135s.
They were calling it out. They would tell you what his time was and what the pace was. And it was an appreciable amount of seconds, his pace compared to the race leader's pace. And which is a wild thing because normally even the back markers have a pace within a couple seconds, but he was way off.
Yeah.
It was he was just circulating the track. It was a track day for him. It was what it looked like. I don't know if because he didn't have anybody to race, so he had no way to push him. But he shouldn't really need that because even during qualifying, you don't have that. You're dropping heaters.
Right. I'm trying to find a list of the lap times. I can't find anything that's just going to be the lap times. But I don't know. It wasn't good, and I was about to do the math, and I didn't want to actually see if it would happen or not. That's why I don't know for sure if he would have been lap traffic. But
I think he was more than 6 seconds off the race lead by his lap pace was more than 6 seconds off. I think,
which is rough in a 27-lap race.
So I think he was doing 139s. I think, and I think the race leads were doing 130, 131. So I think he was almost 7, 8, 9 seconds off.
Yeah.
Which is
what happened.
Normally people start doing they just retire the bike.
Yeah. Which. Yeah, I don't know. I will be very interested to see the rest of the season with Pecco.
I know Bezz is hungry for that 3 in the championship.
No, Bezz has it. There's no way that Bezz is not taking 3rd. There's no. You cannot
yeah.
convince me at this point. In Japan, when Pecco randomly came out.
Yeah, as long as he brings the bike home. He's got to bring the bike home.
Yeah, sure. When Pecco wrecked out in Japan, I was like, oh, okay, maybe. Which apparently was a random one-off where they did a whole bunch of GP24 stuff to it. I don't know why they went back from that.
I don't know why they had the success, and that I don't know the stories behind the scenes, or if they actually changed it. But like in my mind, whatever you did that last weekend, do more of that.
Do that again because it worked.
Don't have no more bright ideas. We've been having bright ideas all season. Whatever that was, do that for Pecco again.
Yeah, my only thought is like maybe they did that. They gathered a bunch of data and they're like, okay, cool, we're gonna go apply this now. But it seemed weird to do it on a weekend where Marc was gonna win the championship. Like, knew it was possible, knew it was probably gonna happen, and then to immediately the week after be right back where you were before. I don't know
what's going on in that garage.
I don't get it at all. Anyway, that's MotoGP. I am curious to see or hear who your rider of the week is.
It's Aldeguer.
Aldeguer.
After his performance on Sunday, gave us some. His performance on Saturday gave us phenomenal racing, especially when Bezz was coming back for it.
Yeah.
Even before that, for him to get the P1.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Then that racing toward the end, and then on Sunday he installed that gap and he maintained it. Dropped a couple of heaters on the way.
So I was sitting there. I was watching a sprint Saturday night, and I watched it and I was like, we'll see what happens tomorrow, but I guarantee Kelly's going to pick Aldeguer. And I'm going to fight Bezzecchi all day because of what I saw at the end of the sprint. And I know I've said it already tonight and I've gone a little overboard, but the comeback that he had, the fire that lit up in that man's eyes.
If Bezzecchi had gotten on the podium in any capacity on Sunday, I would have wanted to give it to Bezzecchi because of like what I saw on Saturday and the fact that I'm a big fan of Bezzecchi now.
Yeah.
But the fact that Aldeguer, first podium, especially if he double podium for the first time on a weekend, fantastic weekend, rookie, still new to the game, I'd have given it to him off that alone because he's still beginning.
I can't argue with you, so I don't.
But like
but
then I couldn't even argue that against Bezzecchi because Bezzecchi on Saturday, and then if he had podiumed on Sunday, like
it would have been a good one.
That'd have been a case for both. Hell, maybe if Juan Mir finished top 5 2 races in a row for the weekend, maybe I'd have given it to him. Kept the bike up.
Brought a bike. Juan Mir brings bike home.
Rider of the week.
Twice. Good job. You did it. I don't know. Poor guy. He's a running joke around here.
The worst part about it is like we've seen flashes of like brilliance.
Yeah.
At least for a Honda.
I still think he's got talent somewhere.
I don't think he's bad. I just think he crashes a lot.
Hey man, you can teach a man not to crash. Can't teach him to be fast.
We need to teach him how to not crash faster.
Yeah, we also need to teach him how to be fast because
that's true.
Before Honda somehow figured their act out a little bit, he was.
Second, we need a new running gag now that Honda figured it out. Now we've established that KTM has figured it out. So is a new gag, did Honda figure it out?
I think Honda figured it out. At least more. I don't know if they have it figured out.
I'm not looking at records, but right now it looks like Marini is on average doing better than Zarco, which is the opposite of what it was early in the year.
Hot take: Ducati unfigured it.
They're backsliding. They're getting worse.
Yeah.
They unfigured it. They unfigured it out so much.
Honda didn't figure it out. KTM didn't figure it out. Ducati just sucks.
They're unfiguring it out.
Well, I mean, so that's why I have so many questions about 2026 is because I'm like,
what if they unfigure it out more?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? And it's the last year. You gotta bring it home. Luckily, they have a secret weapon, Marc Marquez.
Oh, it's not so much of a secret weapon.
Okay, sure. They have a very good weapon, Marc Marquez, but
a well-known. Everybody sees it coming.
But the other bikes are competitive.
Yeah.
And the other riders are competitive. I don't think they're quite there. But Marc's getting old.
Yeah, I will say this. In racing, you have waves and seasons of dominance. And we might be watching the downturn of Ducati's dominance. Or we might not. Who knows? But if Ducati no longer becomes the most dominant bike on the grid, and it becomes like Aprilia for a little bit, maybe even a Honda or a Yamaha, which is less likely right now.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be Aprilia's products. If Ducati starts to actually wane.
Maybe.
But we'll see
I
what
will
happens.
say, I think Ducati has one of the best over-winter programs, somehow. I think they build the best platform for the season. Because look at Aprilia at the beginning of the season. And I'll give Bezz the benefit of the doubt he was getting used to the bike. But Ducati came out swinging.
That's true.
And
yeah, but
they always do. They always have. And I think that's where Ducati has built the best bike. Is they hit it all the time, every time.
Just less now, specifically for Pecco.
Yeah, right now we're in a very weird spot, and I don't know what it is or why it's happening.
Well, we got 5 more rounds, right?
4 more now?
4 more? Well, it's 23 or 22?
22.
22, and this was 18?
Yep.
So we got 19, 20, 21, 22, 4 more rounds?
Got Australia, Malaysia, Portugal, and Valencia. And then we'll go straight to the Valencia test. Yeah, 4 rounds. I do predict 100% Bezz is going to win. We're going to take third. I think Alex can take second next round if he gets enough points. I think
he has enough. I think right now he has enough points. He's just riding the points gap he got earlier in the year because his performances of late. Granted, he did do really good this weekend, but it's not the Mr. P2 performance that we started off the season with.
No.
Granted, he's still fighting for podiums, but fighting for podiums and top 5s is way different than dominating P2 back to back.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, it kind of has.
Granted, these are first world problems.
Oh, absolutely. It has been an interesting season in that way, though, where, like, in the beginning we saw... It's been every season grows and flows and changes, but this one has changed, like... I feel like, we instantly came together and we stayed together for a long time, and then normally you would kind of start to do this a little bit.
Yep.
We went like this.
Yeah, because it used to be Marc, Alex, Pecco. That was it.
Yeah.
And then it was Marc, Alex, maybe Pecco. And then it was Marc, Alex, not Pecco. And then it was Marc, some other people.
Bezz.
Marc, some other people. Predominantly among those other people was Bezz.
Yeah.
And then it was like Marc Bezz, Bezz Marc. Alex is somewhere back there in the points. Pecco is...
Yeah, where's Pecco? And then randomly it was like, Pecco!
Yeah.
Marc.
And then...
And no Bezz.
Also among those other people, Pedro Acosta. Constantly in the conversation. When his KTM is not, popping chains
he's the
or crashing.
mosquito in the
yeah,
ear.
He's there.
You know when you lay down at night, there's a mosquito that you just hear. Meow.
If he had more, I believe if he had more consistent performances, aka not KTM's not blowing the chains, him not roasting a tire and losing pace because of that, or him not crashing a bike, I do think this conversation for P3 for the Constructors' Championship would be like a 2-way tie between is Bezzecchi or Pedro going to take it from Pecco?
That's an interesting take. Hot take. Okay. Yeah, I'll back you on that 100%.
Just because he's been crashing or having bike issues, but I feel like if it was just his performance was more consistent, he'd be in the same conversation. Maybe a little further away from Bezz, less far away from Bezz as he is now, so closer, because Bezz is actually bringing home wins. Whereas Pedro has not brought home as many. I think he has 1 win, but not as many wins as he does.
Those standings, though, are kind of impressive.
I gotta double check my math.
Yeah, so he's 39 points behind. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
He could be there, but Morbidelli's weirdly not far behind him.
Morbidelli will be further behind. Morbidelli would have been further behind if Pecco kept the bike up more often.
Get this: if Morbidelli won 2 races and Bezz wrecked out 2 races, Morbidelli's in 4th.
That's true, but Pedro has a better chance of winning a race than Morbidelli does, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. But that's kind of crazy. What's making me say that is the fact that the amount of points that Marc has and then the amount of points that Alex has. Alex can absolutely. He's currently 90 points up. So if we get out of next round and he's more than I'm forgetting the sprint. Sprint's 12.
Yep.
So 12 times 3 is 36 plus
12
75.
Points. 12 points up for the first, I think, 9 positions.
So he would need to win next weekend and Pecco not do well again. But I think Alex will probably take second. I think he's doing well enough. He will most likely hold that spot down.
I think a Bagnaia doesn't even end up on the 1, 2, or 3. I think that's going to mess with his head going into the winter break even more.
It could. Maybe in a good way. Maybe in a bad way.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be tight. I am looking forward to 2026. I'm also very anxious about 2026. I'm like a new, different Marc Marquez fan now. Because before it was like, we're just waiting for him to come back. Now he's back. Now he's got something to defend. And Ducati's not showing me like anything high hopes. And I don't know.
Marc is showing you the high hopes, not Ducati.
Which is great, but I don't know. I never watched in 2016, 2017, 2018. I don't know if it was like that every year where, I know he had some like plenty of seasons where he was racing with Dovizioso and they would trade back and forth. Davi would win, Marc would win, Davi would win. So like we could absolutely get that next year. My fear is that we have it in-house and out of house. And so we have a Bezz, we have a Alex, we have a Marc, and we have a Pecco, and possibly a Jorge Martin, and maybe a Pedro figures it out.
I want to see.
And a Mir, all battling for the front every weekend.
That's what I want to see.
That would be nuts. But I also want Marc to go down in history as the best rider of all time.
That's what you want to see.
Yeah.
I just want to see good racing.
So what I am perfectly
opinion,
okay with, Marc could just get a 10-second lead every single race, hold it, and you can have all that amazing racing back in second.
And then we both can have what we want.
Yeah, because he'll just get his little spot in the corner.
I already think Marc is one of the best to ever do it, but I understand that he's trying to be the best to ever do it, and I respect that.
He needs one more championship to win the same number of titles. He needs 2 more championships to take over the most titles, which would probably secure him. And he would definitely surpass Rossi in number of race wins. I haven't looked up what's his nuts. Agostini, I think. Most MotoGP titles. Yeah. Giacomo Agostini. 15 titles. So he wouldn't even actually beat him. He would beat him in the Premier class once he got to 9.
Meaning the only one that MotoGP cares about?
Yeah. Well, and I don't know what the other ones were because it could have been something real small. So, what did I say his name was?
Agostini.
Giacomo Agostini?
Yeah.
Giacomo. Sorry, I'm not Italian. Agostini race win number Premier class. 68 Premier class races. Okay, so Marc's passed him in a number of race wins already. So it's a matter of getting up to the championships, which I think is what he's chasing. Agostini actually himself said that Marc told him that he's not stopping until he gets to 16, which, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But if we're counting the 16...
Because by that logic, he's like a little over halfway there, because he's at, what, 7
By that logic,
Premier?
he's at 9.
9 Premier?
9 total.
Oh, because the 15 is total.
Yeah. So, I don't think he'll get there. But I think he can absolutely match in the Premier, definitely beat out Rossi, and possibly go down as the greatest. He does have the greatest comeback in MotoGP history, and in almost any sport.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and I saw something the other day, just to fuel you Rossi fans in the audience, just to fuel the fire between you and I and Marc and Rossi. How many years were between Rossi's championship win and then his almost win?
I have no clue.
It was 2009 to 2015.
So
2009 was like his last championship win, and then 2015 was his I'm come back, almost did it, right? Because in between there he had his Ducati.
Whereas Marc's is like what, 2022 to 2025?
6 years, 2019 to 2025.
This is an accident in 2019?
Mm-hmm. Well, 2020, but he won in 2019, and then 6 years later he came back and he did it, where Rossi never could. So anyway, it's a whole bunch of drama there. It's great.
Rossi fanboy is gonna be mad.
Yeah, we got 4 rounds left. 2026 is around the corner, and right around the other corner, peeking out at us around the wall, is the 2027 with the rule changes. I'm excited just because it's a big change, and I want to see it. I want to see it. I think the Valencia test next year is going to be nuts.
Yeah.
Just to watch, and then the racing is going to be absolutely insane. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up there. We appreciate you guys watching and or listening. Once again, please click the subscribe button down below on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, head over to it, click it, throw a like on the video, and keep watching MotoGP. We will too. Stick on the fantasy. We got 4 rounds left, and then we'll announce the winner of the year. Happy holidays. Go pick you up a shirt. Link for that's on the channel or on our Instagram. It's JKMotoEntertainment.myspreadshop.com. We got some fall shirts, Halloween, Thanksgiving, a couple Christmas options. Go check them out. Get yourself a shirt, sweatshirt, hoodie, whatever. I think I get baby clothes too.
Yeah. I can't stop thinking about what if Pedro just locks in and keeps the bike up. Like, what does that look like?
He won't.
But what if?
What if he was on a Ducati? The Pedro Marc battle on the Ducati, that would be nuts.
Yo, get Pecco out of here.
Yeah, that would be nuts.
Get Pedro a shot.
All right, we'll leave you on that note. Thanks again. We'll see you guys on the next episode. on the ground at 100 miles an hour.